We are live.
Woohoo!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. I'm Lawrence.
And I'm Meryl.
It's been a while.
Yeah. We're letting it, when like something like an electronic device has to boot up, we're booting up right now.
There you go.
Either that or we're completely melting down and dysfunctional, but I'm going with the first one.
So how was your week last week?
Oh my gosh, it was so good. I had a really fun show in San Diego.
Nice.
Shout out to my comedy boys in San Diego. They started a really fun show called Lazy River Comedy because my friend Jesse loves lazy rivers, just like lazy rivers and hotels. So it's a new comedy show, and it was me and like 5 men, very funny, my comedy best friends. So it was like such a fun show.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, it was me and my wife's anniversary weekend.
Oh, happy anniversary!
Well, thank you.
What number, if you're allowed to say?
Sure, 29.
29 years of marriage? Okay, you have to give us some thirsty advice. Tell me something that you learned that you would tell people.
I would say there's some main things that will make every relationship work. One, know how to fight, because yes, you are going to get into arguments and fighting. In other words, don't take it personally.
Yep.
Learn how to compromise and pick your battles. You don't have to argue everything.
I'm going to have you repeat all that when my boyfriend comes home from work in about 30 minutes. We're going to act like we never had this conversation, and I'm going to have you redo it again.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I feel like learning how to fight is the most important. Like not name calling, not being mean about someone's, characteristics or anything. So yeah.
I hear people say, some people like, oh, well, I'm with so-and-so. We never argue. Bullshit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Either that or you guys haven't been together long. Yes, you do.
Yeah. 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 I think that's so good. We've been also like, I feel like I'm way more, I don't really talk. I mean, on the show, I talk in circles a lot, but in my normal like couple talk, I feel like sometimes I just want him to like get to the point, but I'm also trying to learn that some people just need to like talk things out longer, because I used to be very rude and just kind of be like, what's the point? Like, I want the bottom line. And so now I'm just trying to be more like, okay, we can just talk about feelings. It's almost like male and female energy, like reversed a little bit,
Oh yeah. And you know what? You're actually doing the right thing because you're compromising, and that goes so far. Because when you have two people that it's my way or the highway, it's not going to last very long.
Right. Exactly. Sometimes my brain just wants to compute. He's saying like long paragraphs, and I always just want to like a chat GPT and be like, the point of this is just like synthesize it into like, what are you trying to say in like four words or less? But it's okay. Nevertheless, do you want me to go first? I have a story about some drama. We're talking about.
You know what? I'm gonna let you go first. Yes.
Okay. Yay. Okay. Good. This one makes me heated. Tennis star Yulia, I think Putintseva. I probably murdered her name, but whatever. I'm not even going to care to pronounce her name by the way she acted. She was just in the U.S. Open and made a lot of headlines when she did not take her third round loss very well, and she was acting very bratty. She's a tennis star. She's known for having some attitude on and off the court before, but this time around, people caught her on camera being really rude to the ball girl, and basically the ball girl was like throwing her back the balls, and Yulia just like stood there, arms crossed, kind of like mean mugging the girl, and didn't do anything and just like let the balls weirdly fall. And then everyone, of course, went crazy on the internet, and like she got a lot of hate and a lot of pushback for it. And then she put out this kind of like half-assed apology, just saying that she was frustrated and she's going to try to make it up to her. And that she was just misunderstood. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's so interesting now because now that the internet has like such a voice, you're able to hear back like so quickly in real time. Hey, you are such a brat, and to me, like this whole big thing is I totally get athletes and anyone being so upset where like some anger comes out, but when the anger is towards another person that didn't do anything, that's what I have an issue with, Like how rude do you have to be? And I checked, she's 29, and I just feel like by the time you're a 29-year-old athlete, like get your shit together. It's just you're not like 19 and just a little bratty teen anymore.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I actually saw it too because, of course, they showed it over and over, during the news and stuff. And I'm sitting there like, let's face it, you're a millionaire. You're making good money. You're playing a sport that you love playing. Sometimes you lose. That's a part of life.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be mad, but don't be disrespectful to people.
Right.
I don't like athletes that do that, because those same people that you're being disrespectful to and the people in the audience watching you do this, they pay your salary whether you want to admit it or not.
Exactly. Yes. If I was that ball girl, I literally would like chuck it at her nose. I'd be like, I quit, you freak, and I'd like literally like smash her nose with one. But yeah, I think so. And I think now we're at a time where people that were kind of bratty like that used to not really like, they probably got some hate now and then, but they were very separated from it. Where now I'm sure she's getting like flooded in her DMs. And yeah, I mean, how do you feel about in general just players like throwing their racket, or football players that kind of like, throw their ball, or like, how do you feel about that?
I think it's ridiculous. I remember seeing a post that Shaquille O'Neal put on. Now I'm gonna paraphrase because I know I'm gonna butcher the story a little bit, but basically what we were saying is that in his younger days when he first came into the league, he had a bad game. So his father basically told him, "Come here," and he took him to, I guess, either a spot where homeless people were. And he said, "You see that family over there? You see that man right there? What you do is not pressure. You're gonna get paid whether you make that basket or not.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about pressure? That man's trying to figure out where he's gonna get the next meal from his family.
Wow.
That's pressure." And I tell you, I love that, because you know what? It puts everything in perspective.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because, okay, yes, you lost the match. Big fucking deal.
Right.
Get over it.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, And to humiliate that ball girl because, you want to show your little bratty ways, I think she got everything she deserved, all the boos and stuff. I really hope the apology was sincere, though I really think that she kind of apologized because she got called out.
Yes. I was just about to think, I honestly think, I really bet she feels bad, but I feel like up till now, I mean, that's why her attitude is just like, I feel like she probably got away with a lot of stuff, but I really do feel like hearing from people probably was like, whoa, I did not realize it was that bad. And I think being caught on such like a major scale, I feel like this probably did embarrass her, but you're right. It was more that she got caught. Like,
yeah. And, treat people with respect, because no one deserved to be treated like that.
I know. And that's just so awkward. And I also wish, I mean, this kind of goes back to what we talked about with like the Blake Lively and that interviewer person, where nowadays, if someone's like rude to you in that moment, I feel like people should just start calling it out and be like, don't be a bitch. Like, right then and there.
Oh, I agree. 100%. Yeah. Let's hope that she changed her ways for good. Talking about calling out, I want to jump to a fun one here. This is interesting. I just found out about this. I guess it's been going on for some time because it's gone viral now, where Gen Zers and millennials have decided that when they want to quit their job, they do it on social media.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, okay, yeah, it's a little funny, whatever. I guess to me, there's a few problems with that. It's fun, get your laughs, okay, you blast out the company, but they do realize that pretty much every other company do check your social media sites.
Yeah.
And that may have a negative effect on, a place you want to apply to. That's just me. I'm just saying,
Is it mostly like over the computer?
Yeah, they literally do it over the computer. Sometimes on Zoom, sometimes on TikTok, but then they'll post it, on social media.
Whoa. Or I've seen people like if they know they're getting laid off, I like when people record those, like the company laying them off.
Mm-hmm. No, these are people, I guess, giving their 2-week notice or quitting right away, right on right on camera. I don't know. I think it's going to backfire in a bad way for a lot of them. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think people, especially the ones that go viral, I think people will be able to see that. In this world where like no one feels like they could get a job and everyone's struggling to find a job, like that's just so brazen to do. But I do think I have to say, if I was like in my early 20s or early 30s and quitting a job, like I would definitely at least film it for my friends because I think that's funny. Like in a world now where like all of us are kind of on our own game show, I could understand why people do it because it's just like, another thing in our life. But I don't know. I wouldn't do that if the place was a good place to work for. But I feel like if it was a terrible work environment, I would probably do it just to like make my friends laugh.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's hope they find good jobs after that.
I know. But I do like when they post like the mass layoffs, like when a company posts the CEO being like, "We are here to inform you," and there's like 300 people on the call.
Yeah, that is rather rude. Oh, by the way, we're done with the meeting, and just let you guys know, thank you, but you're all laid off.
Yes, and like no one's done anything wrong, but also like this whole company is like downsizing, and then as of like today, you won't be needed anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of a trucking company that went out of business. I'm not gonna mention their name. Literally, they had drivers on the road that did not find out until that day.
No way.
Yeah, so even though it doesn't happen all the time, but yeah, that does happen.
Mm-mm. Isn't there that's not illegal, is it? To like, isn't it illegal to record someone without their knowledge?
I know it depends on the state. Like in some states, both parties have to agree. There are states where only one party has to agree, which means just the person video. So it depends on where you're at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new job open, and that is the biggest hot dog eater in the whole wide world. Because if Joey Chestnut retires, then there's space open for someone that could eat over 83 hot dogs. So our boy Joey Chestnut just finished again as the national champion of eating the most hot dogs that anyone could ever eat. He had there's a show on Netflix called Chestnut versus Kobayashi Unfinished Beef, which I think is so funny. And then it was their face off, the first contest of these two in 15 years. So obviously it was a long time coming, it was a big deal. And then Labor Day, Chestnut inhaled 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes. And so 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes, which is like, was that like 8 per minute pretty much? If my math is horrible, but like pretty much.
Nice little heart attack right there.
Yeah. So it said he stuffed his face with cups of water in Vegas. Now, how many hot dogs do you think you could eat in like 10 minutes?
I don't know, probably like 3 or 4, maybe, if that. I don't know. I've just never been a fan of just pigging out like that.
No, me neither.
I mean, because if you really want to know, hot dogs is probably one of the least healthiest things you can ever eat.
Yes.
Let alone put in 83 of them.
God, because it's all like weird mystery areas of the pig, right? Like it's all.
Yeah, it's like you reading the package, and if the package was honest, they'll be like, "Do you really want to know what's in here?"
Yeah, I've heard before. People are like, "You don't want to know like what areas we take of the pig and everything."
Yeah, then that's when you go, okay, no problem. Let me get some ketchup and hot dogs, some mustard,
So the grand prize was $100,000 and bragging rights to become the greatest of all time, which I'm sure, $100,000 to win, but then that's definitely going to translate into like a lot of appearances, speaking deals. I'm sure like if he doesn't have a book out, I'm sure already, like just social media, like that's just a lot of the money. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, especially like he's not an overweight guy. He's pretty thin. So I wonder if there's like secret performance enhancing drugs that he's using.
I would love to know because there's, I I forgot what this guy is. I think he's Chinese, real skinny guy. And he's won a few contests.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
And I'm sitting there like, where the hell is all that going?
I know.
First, just looking at that pile, I'm gaining weight just looking at it. And then I can't even get through a third of that before passing out because it's like you're just eating just raw meat coming down.
Yeah. Like, I would just throw up. We're seeing me now. I'm literally sweating out. I had cottage cheese yesterday, and you could tell my voice is gone. My throat is closing.
Well, we don't want that.
I'm not going to do competitive eating of cottage cheese anytime soon, so I'm so sorry to disappoint my fans.
I don't know. Can you do it? Can you do competitive eating?
No. I was trying to think of if any food. I feel like I could eat an insane amount of mac and cheese, but I feel like that's more not in one sitting. It's just more like I definitely eat more mac and cheese than a girl should, but I'm trying to change that in my life a little bit, but like I feel like no, not something in like one sitting. Is there anything that you could eat like sushi or something that you think you could kind of, mine wouldn't be fries or anything like that.
I don't know. I probably could eat sushi. I do love California rolls, so I could probably eat a lot of those.
Yeah,
just because they're so good, pieces? I just keep going. I could probably eat some of that, maybe nuggets, something like that. Larger items like hamburgers, hot dogs that you got to chew and swallow. Nah.
Anything like with bread on it, I feel like is going to slow you down at some point.
Well, yeah, because which is surprising because the bread is really a filler. You know what I mean? So I tip my hat off to them.
Yeah. See, we do all you can eat sushi, and I'm the worst person because I talk such a big game and we pay $45. And then after the second roll, I'm like, I don't feel well. And like, this is like, I feel like it's our like 11th time of trying to go to the same place. And usually I get 2 rolls and then I'm like sweating and I'm tapped out. Well, we'll have to keep our eye on Joey.
Yes. Speaking of tapping out, have you heard about what's been going on where I guess there's a Venezuelan gang that has been taking over this apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. Now, the story broke from the news reporters, and I guess the police department was saying that, they have received calls there, but it's really not true. But then the mayor is, asking for emergency funding and emergency resources.
Whoa.
So it's like, okay, it's kind of scary that you guys aren't on the same page.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of any gang whatsoever taking over a complex is really scary.
It is. And the last I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but they were holding like the residents hostage or like, or, yeah, me too. So have any of those people called 911?
I don't know, but I guess the interesting thing is if you're the property owner, I would think you'd have the police over there cleaning that out and maybe have some security there, because that is your property. The police, I would imagine, would want to be there. But again, it's not a whole lot to know. But the scary part is that if this is true, you kind of scared if this is kind of spreading all over the place,
Oh my gosh, that's really scary.
Yeah.
I saw one video of like a motorcycle gang. I don't know if the Hells Angels or something going to like make things right. Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that. Yes.
Kind of like who knows? And like those people could just have machine guns and blow everyone away in like 5 minutes. I don't know. I'd be very scared of, as intimidating as it is to have someone like ride up on their motorcycle. You also don't know what the other people are working with too.
Yeah. Let's definitely pray for those people. This wasn't on my list, but I do want to send my condolences out to the family who lost loved ones at the school shooting today over in Georgia.
Yeah, I briefly saw that. I didn't really have time to look. Was it have people have died, you said?
Yeah, it was a school shooting at a high school. I forgot the name of the suburb, but they're an hour away from Atlanta. As far as what I heard, 4 people died. 9 people are in the hospital injured. The 4 people that died, 2 were students and 2 were teachers, and they have the suspected gunman well, I shouldn't even say gunman. The boy is only 14 years old. The suspected
Really?
shooter in custody.
Okay. Wow. I feel like that's rare. Like, that's like, wow. So they have him in custody and he was a student there. Do you know?
I'm assuming so. I mean, they didn't release that information until later in the day. Because early when it happened, they didn't give out too much information because I guess they were trying to sort everything out.
Yeah. And 14 is like just 14 or 16, whatever. That is just a baby. Like that's really just a baby in and of itself, too.
You know, the scary thing, Merle, is a lot of these mass shootings, the shooter is getting, I don't know if it's just me, but it seemed like they're getting younger and younger.
I know. I know. Like to be 14 and even thinking about that is such a sad thing.
Yeah.
And
Kind of
that's
makes you
just,
wonder what's going on that they feel that, they have to do this.
I know. And just thinking of everyone's parents where like it's back to school time. I'm sure those kids haven't been in school for longer than a week, and it's like the fact that parents have to think about that as a valid fear nowadays is so sad.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just amazing to me that the school year just started.
Yeah,
So it's like, what could have happened in this short a time period?
I know. Nope, I know. It's so weird. Very, very sad, very scary.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, I mean, besides like the obvious kind of things with gun control and all that kind of stuff, like I don't know like what else because you tell teachers and students like there's nothing else for them to do. You know what I mean? Like no one's doing anything wrong. They're just nicely going to school and like living their life.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the sad part is, I remember when my son was in high school, they had what was it called, Stranger Danger or whatever they called it, where they were actually practicing if an active shooter was in the school, what to
Oh
do.
my gosh.
Which is kind of sad that they have to do that, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, that's so scary and sad. And that's the fact that now schools have to have like metal detectors,
Mm,
emergency security, like gun detectors. Is so sad.
that's so true.
Okay, well, this one isn't as serious. It's a little bit creepy, but not as sad. So I'm choking on my cottage cheese. Okay, Facebook is probably hearing this right now. Facebook admits that yes, the smartphone microphones listen to people talk to serve better ads. One of Facebook's advertising partners has reportedly admitted listening to spying on people's conversations through smartphones to serve curated ads. So, do you ever find that this happens to you where you're talking about something and then you see an ad?
Yes. I remember there was something I was looking for, and it was something that I never ever looked for online before. And all of a sudden, after looking it up, I got like, I kid you not, it seemed like 9 or 10 ads in a row that I'm
Really?
looking for, and that kind of like spooked me out. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so then, because there's a way you could turn off your location tracker on your phone. I know I sound like weird, but I turn mine off all the time unless I actually need to use it for something. Because there's been times where, and I could be just paranoid, where I'm talking about something and I see ads for it.
Oh yeah, all the time.
And I was like, and I'm sitting there looking at my phone like, what the fuck? I mean, literally, I was talking about it, and then all
Yeah.
these ads show up. A little bit scary there.
Yes, and it will be very detailed too. Like my boyfriend and I were just talking about like Cleveland, and then all of a sudden it's like an ad for visit Cleveland. It's like
I don't know. Does that spook you out though when you look for something or you're talking about something and then it pops up?
yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I don't know if it really stops me from having conversations, but it more like I think it used to be kind of people being like a joke, like, oh, they're listening, and now it's just like, oh yeah, they really are listening. Like, you have to be kind of weird. But also like in a weird way, I kind of don't mind if the internet tracks me because if it helps me remember like some shoes that I'm looking for or something, like at this point, whoever's like my FBI agent is going to be very bored of like what I'm talking about. So, like I kind of use it as a tool where I'm like, oh yeah, I do want to see this movie, or like that will happen. So, um, I'm not that weirded out at this point. I pretty much know. Like I feel like our computers and our phones are just tracking us, and like privacy is kind of hard to come by when you're on technology a lot, but
yeah,
it is weird if they're listening into like our private conversations. You know, that's very weird.
Oh, absolutely. Because you just kind of wonder how long are they listening?
I know. And I'm one of those people too. Like I'm surprised I don't have my camera taped up and everything, because I feel like they probably are watching us sometimes, but I don't know.
The crazy thing, I actually do that. I actually put a little tape over the
You
camera.
do? Cool. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I almost just feel like whatever I'm searching / like who's ever going to tune in on me is just going to be like just watching me choke after eating cottage cheese, and I'm like, that's it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember when my son was in school, and he has Chromebook. So once he's done, he'll leave his book up. I'm just like, son, close that. Oh, Dad, I'm done. I said, close it. They can turn that camera on anytime they want.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, huh? I said, yeah, they can anytime they want. That's their computer.
So freaky.
So, and actually, I guess in a weird way, it was kind of good because there was an incident where they actually arrested a man who I guess was reaching out to a student.
Oh,
and
I remember
the way
that.
it got caught was IT saw it. And IT notified the school officials, and then they notified the police, and they arrested the guy. But he was trying to, lure this high school child to meet him.
I remember that. That is so freaky.
So, I mean, I guess in a scary kind of way, I guess it does have its points,
Yeah,
but
I think I'd be more concerned if I had children. I think just me as like a whatever old adult, like I don't really care that much. But yeah, if I was a parent, I think I'd be a lot more worried about it.
Yeah, just know that you may want to push that phone away if you want to talk crazy.
Yeah,
you never know who's listening.
I even have to do that if I know I'm going to talk shit on one of my friends. I just like I put my phone on like airplane mode and turn it off because I'm like I don't know I'm gonna have to like call one of my friends while I'm talking about them.
There you go. That would be embarrassing.
Yeah, or like everyone has done the thing where if you like screenshot a conversation, then by accident you send it to like the person that you're talking to in the first place or talking about. Like I've done that before.
Oh yeah. I've actually heard of people who I guess was sending a text and they sent it to the wrong person.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too. Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of bad because I don't know how you can walk that one back.
I know I've seen a lot of that on TikTok about guys texting other guys about like the girl they're gonna go out with and being like, oh well, she's like only a 2, but I really need to get laid, and like they'll send that to the girl by accident.
And then she replies back, "Oh, so I'm only a 2, huh?"
Yeah. And she'll reply back like, "No, thank you, goodbye."
Let's see. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, why don't you do one more?
You know what? This is gonna be a good one here. All right. Now, you know who Cam Newton is, don't you?
Yes.
All right. Now, Cam Newton was on a podcast, and he was speaking to this woman. I forgot what her name was, but he was saying how he has a fear of divorce. That's why he really doesn't want to get married right now.
Mm-hmm.
He has 8 kids already, and he wants more.
8?
8.
Whoa!
I had to play it back a couple times. Like, you have how many kids?
He's on the Nick Cannon life path.
But the thing is, he wants more kids. So the woman was kind of ripping into him a little bit, saying how reckless he was because you're creating all these households over here, and you're basically creating situations because you can't be at all those households at the same time because they're all separate. And is that really fair for the kids? And the way she laid it out, she kind of stuck it to him, but did it in a professional way as far as the results, because, kids always are paying attention. And when you have siblings that are in different households, sometimes they take a look and say, I know daddy's spending more time with XYZ than they are with me. They may not say it out loud, but they are paying attention. What is your thought on that? about.
I mean, yeah. My thought is, even if he's like giving them enough money for schooling and college, and even if they live in a nice house, at the end of the day, I feel like what most children want is just a stable family with parents that love them. Hopefully plural, but if not, at least like one parent. And I think this is just, if you're going to grow up of like the seventh child, and like your siblings also are kind of in the same boat, I just think it's not a great situation. Of course, it's like I'm under the umbrella of like not telling people how to live their life one way or another, and if someone wants to have that many kids, but it's also like, why? I just don't understand why have that many children. Like, it just seems like, to me, I'd want to have less children and like pour my love into them, but it's also, that's his life, and I'm not sure of that, but.
Yeah, I think the way he's looking at it, and this is just my interpretation, is he feels, okay, you know what? I'm a sports celebrity. I have the money. I can afford it. That's one aspect. And
Yeah.
that's true. He can afford it financially, but there is that emotional thing. That emotional thing you can't put money on.
I know. And like, I just feel like there's other, I mean, if I was being super judgmental, I feel like there's other children out there that right now that probably could use. It's like, okay, if you have money and resources that you want to give and love, there's like kids right now that probably need it. But I don't know. I understand just wanting to have like so many children, but that it just seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, and like I said, everyone has their own opinion on what they do, but understand that there are consequences, both good and bad, to your actions. So
yeah, but he took it pretty well that the interviewer was like calling him out on it, or was he defensive?
actually, he took it pretty well. I was very surprised.
I feel like he's football. He's football, right? Not basketball.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like football players are probably so like well media trained that he's not going to be like how that tennis star is and just be like a total I'm such a brat about it. He's going to just almost like answer like it's almost the end of the like a game interview or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite sure he wasn't very happy with what she was saying, but
yeah,
I do love the fact that he sat there and listened to her.
Yeah,
Obviously he has his way of looking at it, she has her way of looking at it, but there are valid points on both sides of it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for sure. But to me, it's just 8 children just seems unmanageable. But I mean, who knows? Maybe he has the time and money and resources for that.
That's true, but like I said, money is just one piece of it, because everyone has had, or either had friends or know people who have money, and their kids, are pretty kind of messed up.
Yeah. Yep.
But money doesn't buy happiness.
Not at all.
It may remove a lot of barriers, but at the end of the day, to me, money just shows you who you are as a person.
Yeah, and I can't imagine growing up feeling like, oh, I'm just like a child that my dad just kind of wanted a collection of kids, basically. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like one. I was just like one more that they wanted, not something like really special brought into the world.
Yeah, and then that I would imagine that there's pressure on the child, because in their mind they may feel, wow, my dad's not spending that much time with me, and they feel guilty about saying that, because some people are like, well, what you worried about it for? You ain't got to worry about money. Your dad's rich. He's a multimillionaire. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's technically true, but ain't nothing like having your dad sit there and talk to you. Ain't nothing like doing something with your dad, whether it's going fishing, to a movie. It doesn't matter, but just spending that quality time. You
I
can't
know.
pay for that.
Even like logistically nowadays, it's hard to even travel with more than like 4 children, in a van, or like take on a plane. It's just like it seems like if you had 9 or 10 kids, that's just like logistically so hard to be with everyone all the time that you would just think you'd want like 8 is perfectly fine. Like you have a huge family already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the thing is, 8 kids in the same household is much different than 8 kids in 8 different households.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like I said, we'll pray for him.
That's why I just collect little mini plants, not children. I do my part more.
There you go. Well, Mara, do you have any shows or anything coming up?
Yeah, I have any people in Santa Barbara, California. I will be there next week. And I have a 20-minute long set. And then I walk over to a pizza place and then we do another 20-minute long set. So it's like
Nice.
I'm not going to have any cottage cheese the night before, so I won't be choking during my.
No, don't do that. We don't want you to do that.
That would be something probably better than some of my jokes lately. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it.
Alrighty. Well, everyone, I had a great time.
Me too.
And we will be back at our normal time next week. Hopefully, I won't have any more computer issues like I did today.
We rallied, though. I'm proud of us.
Yes, we did. And always, everyone, have those great thirsty conversations. And don't forget to watch us and also to visit my streaming channel, EroraTVNetwork.com. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.